Legends never die.
Okay, so this video took some time to make, but finally, we're about to make it. Okay, so I was about to make it Thursday, but then obviously I had to make a video about about Brian Reynolds, and I thought Brian Reynolds' transfer to Anderlecht was gonna happen before James Sands to Rangers, but then James Sands was confirmed to Rangers, and I just posted the Brian Reynolds video, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just made a mistake. Then I was about to post it Friday, which is today, but then the USMNT Camp Cupcake, which is basically the January preparation camp, was out, so I had to make a reaction to that. So finally, we're able to make this video. So today, we're going to be making my reaction to analyzing James Sands' transfer to Rangers. So, let's begin. So, James Sands is someone I thought that needed to make the jump to Europe, and he finally did it. Did he make it too quickly, or was it the right move? We'll be finding out in this video pretty soon. So, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about James Sands' transfer loan to Rangers. So, overview. So obviously James Sands went from NYCFC to Rangers, which is right over here, this badge, Rangers. If you guys, I'm sorry I didn't put an NYCFC badge over here, but still, this is an 18th month loan, so this is not a transfer, and I don't think there's an option or obligation to buy. So obviously James Sands won't be 100% property of Rangers, so obviously that can be something good depending on the circumstances. He's 21, pretty young, okay, so obviously the 18-month loan is important. So by the time he leaves Rangers, he might be 22 or 23, and let's just say some clubs might want him, and they won't have to pay a transfer fee. Only they'll have to pay a transfer fee, obviously, to NYCFC, but obviously it might be a little bit easier with NYCFC rather than Rangers. Who knows? Position, CDM and center back. He can as well play the right back, but I don't think he's very athletic enough to play that position. But still, CDM and center back, he's pretty good on those positions. Rangers are first in the Scottish Premiership, which is pretty important since James Sands by the end of the season he might win a Scottish Premiership title. They're 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 up by a decent bit, so obviously they might win it. James Sands won the MLS Cup and played amazing during the playoffs. So obviously that's very important since obviously I believe the Scottish Premiership and the MLS are pretty much are somewhat on the same level. James Sands won the Gold Cup with the USMNT. So obviously James Sands has already won some silverware, so obviously having more silverware in this time in Europe might be important. So yeah, let's go on to some points. So we'll have to fight for this place. James Sands, by no reason at all, will have an easy time. If he plays center back, James Sands will have to compete with James Tarvinier, Connor Goldson, Calvin Bassey, Philip Hillander, and Leon Balogun. That's a pretty stacked center back pile, and plus some more. So James Sands, if he decides to play a center back, which is, if you argue, it can be his main position, he might have to compete with it. James Sands will have to compete with Scott Arfield and Stephen Davis and John Lundstrom if he plays CDM. So again, he'll have to compete for that, and if he plays right back, which I think he won't, he'll still have to compete with James Tarviner and Leon Balogun. So obviously, he'll have to compete for that spot. Obviously, I believe he can overcome those players. So yeah, and considering that Rangers are in the Europa League and they have some other minor titles that they might want to win, I believe that James Sands will at least get to have some minutes with Rangers. So yeah. So now let's go to the second point, which is a step up in competition. Look at. I'm gonna say this, and if you guys are Scottish Premiership fans, don't get offended, but I'm gonna say this. The Scottish Premiership is pretty much on the same level with MLS. If you take Alfredo Morelos and put him to MLS, will he do better? I believe so. Yeah, by a little bit. It won't be by a lot, but obviously, look, if Alfredo Morelos was playing against teams like Austin FC, against Columbus Crew, Montreal, Toronto, if he was playing against those teams, he might score some hat tricks and braces everywhere. But still, I don't I think it won't be considerably larger than his stats in the that are in the Scottish Premiership. So when it comes to the Scottish Premiership, it is not much of an upgrade from MLS apart from Celtic. Celtic and Rangers are pretty much better than any MLS team, in my opinion. Look at the Scottish Premiership is a league where Ryan Kent is a superstar and where Joe Hart is getting some actual minutes. So obviously the Scottish Premiership it's not that good. However, playing in the Europa League will be a step up if Rangers are able to make a deep run. Rangers will be playing against Borussia Dortmund, and if you guys are telling me that the Rangers are going to defeat Borussia Dortmund, you're pretty much sick. Okay? If it's the first team, okay, Borussia Dortmund might bring their second team. I do not know which team will they bring, how will they approach the Europa League. But obviously, if they bring their first team, then we all know what's gonna happen. Rangers are practically screwed. Imagine trying to withhold Erling Haaland. Yeah, that won't end good. Rangers have a possibility to play in the UCL or UEL in the Champions League or Europa League next season, which is easier to say. Uh, look, playing against top level competition is obviously important for James Sands, but if it's only for in the UC and the Champions League, he only have to play 6 games because obviously, if Rangers make it to the round of 16, it will practically be one of the biggest miracles to ever happen. And in the Europa League, he might make the round of 32, but obviously he might get out, or he can make it to the round of 16 and get out over there. If unless Rangers make some sort of inspirational run, I don't think they will make it that far. So obviously, yeah, it's not much of a step up in competition, but playing in the Europa League and having the possibility next season playing in the Champions League might be important. So yeah, a doorway to England. If you all guys know, the Scottish Premiership is practically one of the doorways to England. Premier League clubs and Championship clubs do tend to buy some Scottish Premier League talents, like Kieran Tierney and Adunze or Edouard. However, it's very, very rare in some cases where you get to see players go from the Scottish Premiership to the Premier League and instantly thrive like they are in the Scottish Premiership. Kieran Tierney is pretty much the only good example because uh, playing against some janitors is different from playing in the one of the best leagues in the world, top 5, or arguably even the best league in the world. So obviously, yeah, that is. But still, Scottish Premierships do tend to buy from some Scottish Premier League players like Kieran Tierney and Adunze Edouard, who are doing pretty well over there in the Premier League. Not in anything like very special or anything. Kieran Tierney is playing good, but is he playing to the level of a guy like Andrew Robertson? No, but not yet. So obviously, yeah, this can be as well to step up to other better leagues like Liga. Like for example, when Moussa Dembele left Celtic and joined Lyon. Obviously, that's important. So obviously, yeah, there's a lot of Scottish Premier League talent that does tend to go to better leagues, but they do tend to go a lot to the Premier League clubs and the Championship clubs. So yeah, let's let's just continue with the. So my take, this is a 6 out of 10 move, for me. He'll have to push himself harder, which is obviously a very important thing to do for a player like James Sands, who's very, very, very talented. James Sands will play in European competitions, which is very important for a player like him if he wants to get better. Because playing in the Scottish Premiership, it might get him better, he'll he'll obviously have to push himself harder, which might make him a better player. However, playing against some low league competition is probably not going to be. It's not too good. If I'm going to say, if I'm going to be honest, I believe a loan is better than a permanent. So I believe James Sands made the right decision with a good loan. But an 18-month loan, it kind of seems a little bit long to me, in my opinion. Look at once he leaves the Scottish Premiership, he'll be like 22 or 23. So by that time, look at well, if unless he balled out seriously over there, he might not be able to make a jump to a considerably bigger league like the Premier League or Liga or whatever league there is. Okay, but still, I believe this is a somewhat of a decent move. Look at playing in the Scottish Premier League. It's not that good, but still, it is it is what it is. Some clubs do tend to pay attention a lot to Scottish Premier League teams, but sometimes players do tend to stagnate over there, like Alfredo Morelos, who when he didn't make his move, he stagnated as well. This can be a doorway to better leagues. Obviously, a doorway to better leagues is good, and I believe if he manages to play very good over there and stay hungry and play amazingly week in and week out, I believe that this can really be a good transfer for him, a good loan for him, and it will make him a better player. It will teach him that he has to work harder, and obviously, if Rangers do make a good run in the Europa League, next season, this season or next season, or even make it to the Champions League, and James Sands, look at if Rangers are gonna get destroyed next season in the Champions League, which they probably are, and if James Sands manages to like look apart and look half decent, uh, some teams will take that into consideration and might try to buy him. Who knows? Uh, this is a pretty decent transfer, but it's not the best. And I believe James Sands did make this move a little bit premature. Look, he could have waited. He could have waited, in my opinion. He could have waited for a championship team to get him in. But obviously, it is what it is. This can be a good move for him, or this can help him stagnate. Who knows? So yeah, let's just finish this video off. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.